Today I'm going to talk to you about an epidemic sweeping across America called hydraulic fracturing that is damaging the world we live in today. Hydraulic fracturing is forcing open rocks by introducing liquid at a high pressure in order to extract oil and gas. Some statistics about hydraulic fracturing: up to 600 chemicals or more are used, 400 trucks used to transport water back and forth from the facilities, and there's 1 to 8 million gallons of water. According to Jesse Jenkins, a researcher at MIT, in 2011, fracturing in the US used 135 million gallons of gas. After drilling, only 20% of the fractured fluid mix is pulled up to the surface, leaving 80% behind. This is where the problem is born, because methane gas and other toxic chemicals seep into the surface over time, which contaminates ground and drinking water, and this is drinking water that you and your families drink today. According to Stephen Osborne, an expert in hydrogeology, areas within 1 mile of these gas wells have 19 times more methane than other areas without gas wells. Jacob Hami, which is a North Dakota man who worked in the oil and gas fields, a few years ago while he was in his home, he heard a hissing sound coming from his sink as he was washing his hands. He went up to the sink and smelt it, and it smelled like gas, so he got a lighter and held it up to the water stream, which prompted a huge flame that burned him almost to death. Multiple cases like this occur in the US, but nothing is done and no awareness is made. This is because billion-dollar gas companies give non-disclosure contracts which prohibit people from talking about incidents in return for expensive compensation. Methane is only a part of the problem. The 20% fluid that is extracted is just as bad as the 80% that is left behind by the process. This is a picture demonstrating the process of hydraulic fracturing. The extracted 20% is pumped into the air where fluid is left to evaporate, and this releases harmful chemicals into the atmosphere, and this creates acid rain, contaminated air, and ground level ozone. There are clean energy alternatives to hydraulic fracturing, such as natural gas, wind turbines, biofuels, solar panels, and then those are all the measurements of them. This chart explains what's in the water and how the gas gets into the water, and that the drinking waters in people's homes is not 100% water. There is stuff we can do about this. Government efforts to prevent this pollution include passing laws to regulate the waste in order to prevent air pollution. This is a chart showing the chemicals that are released into the atmosphere through the process of hydraulic fracturing. And according to Amy Mall, who is a senior policy analyst with the Natural Resources Defense Council, says that state fracturing regulations vary widely, and federal law passed in 2005 exempts fracturing from the State and Safe Drinking Water Act, and companies must disclose the chemicals that are used during this process. The Energy Policy Act of 2005 was passed because the US needed more domestic energy, and they passed this act hoping that less regulation would help the natural gas business. So in the end, hydraulic fracturing is it's agreed that it's a bad process and it pollutes the environment. So we should all use different forms of energy, like more natural energy, such as the wind turbines, instead of gas.
Mm-hmm.